Hi, this is Ron, the colorblind artist, and I've been drawing ever since I could pick up a pencil. A few years back, I decided to give painting a try. And not just any painting, I want to paint a masterpiece. So I decided to make these videos to document my journey from a beginning painter all the way to that masterpiece. Now, just how far I'll go, we'll just have to wait and see. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. See, if you tell me if you can hear me when we get on here.
You're completely gone now.
Can you hear me now? Okay, can everybody hear me now? Can you give me another thumbs up, Frosty, if you can hear me? All right, hold on. I'm gonna make sure I can, because I'm not even. Okay, let me see here. All right. Okay, I'm gonna keep testing. Okay. All right. Hopefully, I'm gonna go over to my slideshow. Hopefully, you can hear me talk on that also. All right. Tell me, Mississippi. Tell me if you can hear me when I do my slideshow. Can you still hear me? All right. This is number 30. Somehow I got signed in under my other account and I was still backstage because my other account doesn't control this. So hopefully, all right, great. All right. So I am so sorry about that. See, it's a learning curve. All right, this is number 30. This is Young Crow. This was a Edward Curtis photo. Edward Curtis was a photographer around 1900, and he took photos of Native Americans, tons of them. This is about a 8 by 10, maybe 8 by 11, and I did this with art pins. This barely made the list. What I did, I picked all my favorite ones. I kind of went down to the list. I got to about 29. I still had a handful of drawings and artwork, and this one barely made the cut, even though I think it's a pretty good drawing. All right. This is called Mississippi Waters. This is a painting I did off of one of my wife's paintings. She painted something in black and white, and I'm like, hey, I kind of see like a little pond there and some trees, and I asked her if I can kind of copy it. And yeah, Frosty, I am not a I'm not a landscape artist, but I do one every now and then. But thank you, Frosty. This is about, I think 11 by 14. It's oils. Took me about maybe 12 hours. This is number 29. Okay, number 28. This is a painting I did of my brother's grandson. This is Mason. I did this in oils. I was pretty happy with it. This is probably the best skin tones that I have done. Skin tones are one of the hardest things for me to do. You know, I'm still learning that too, and that's why I'm making these videos. Maybe I can show someone else how I do them, even though I have trouble seeing some of the colors. But his name is Mason. I think he's about 8 years old now. All right, this is the one I did. I used to love the Viking show. I did this just because I was just a great fan. This is, again, art pin, bunch of stipple, pointillism, line drawing, just a bunch of chicken scratch, or whatever you want to call it. This is a fairly large piece for art pin. This is about 11 by 14. And I couldn't tell you how long this took. Each drawing probably took me 20 to 25 hours. So we're probably looking at about 100 hours right here on this one. Okay, number 26, John Wayne. This is one of my older ones I've done probably 15, 16 years ago. Just trying different techniques. This is not really pointillism. It's more of like chicken scratch, just kind of a little cross hatching I did in the background. Everything else is like just chicken scratch. And again, like I say, when I draw someone like this, I always use a grid system because everybody knows what John Wayne looks like.
So even if I have the values off just a little bit or the colors were off just a little bit, if you get your proportions right, I can hear myself talking. Okay. You get your proportions right, they can still tell that, this is John Wayne. So I always, when you see a drawing like this of someone that everybody knows, I use the grid system. This is again about 8 by 10, 8 by 11. And it is Art Pen. Number 25. This one is a drawing. When I used to hang out on DeviantArt, they got something called a daily deviation. I drew this one. I was kind of like in a ballpoint pen club and a black and white club. I did this one. I got a daily deviation for it. A daily deviation is something they put on our homepage for a day. There's like 4 million photographers and artists on there, and they choose about 20 every day, and they call it a daily deviation. This was my very first daily deviation I ever got. I guess it impressed somebody, so it made the list. This is Art Pen. The black in the background is just, it's not a bunch of dots. It's just like a felt tip magic marker. So I can paint all that black in. Number 24. This is a painting I did for Enoch. I believe his name's Enoch. He is like an original Anon when Q started up. He figured out a lot of the things for the Q movement or whatever. He does a Magapalooza a couple times a year, which is like a hunting or a camping thing. He gets a bunch of patriots together. I told him, he asked me if I'd paint something for him. So he kind of gave me an idea of these little Q-Berts. This is kind of his little logo. Kind of gave me an idea of what he wanted. So I painted everything like this. And I basically did this from my head, and I never do that. I always have a reference. But this is all okay for my head. And I'm real happy with the way it turned out. This is about 16 by 20. And I believe I did this in acrylics, if I remember right. This is before I even started oils. But I just came across, when I was going through all my artwork, I came across this. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a lot of fun. I remember this one. This is a Beitler Eagle in oil. You'll see this image again, but this is just one of my, about the third painting I did in oils, and I was really happy with it. I think I could have put a little bit more detail in the feathers in the back of it. Yeah, Frosty's an Anon too down there. Do you know who is his name? Enoch? You know what I'm talking about, I'm sure, Frosty. But this is a 16 by 20. It's oil, and this probably took about 25 hours. I'm really happy with how it turned out. This is a Art Pen. This is a 8 by 11. This is of our first granddaughter. My wife was giving her a bath. I snapped a picture of it. Thought I'd make a good drawing. A couple little mistakes that I'm not going to say anything about, but I like how the water turned out down here, little soap suds. You can kind of see the rag at the bottom of the sink there while my wife's giving her a bath. This took probably 35 hours. Most of my 8 by 10 pen and inks take about 25 hours. Okay, number 21. This is the painting of my newest grandson, Freddie, when he was about 2 weeks old. Again, I was still working with skin tones. I struggle with them. I've learned a lot since then. It didn't make my top 10 because of the skin tones, because I think I can do better. I did like the way the blankets turned out, though. This is oil, and it's a 16 by 20. I did like the way how the blanket turned out. Oh, and of course, a cute little face. Number 20, this is called Smokin' Man. This was a commission for a friend of my brother's. This one took a while. This is actually this is about a 11 by 14. It's a pretty large one for a pen and ink for me. I was really scared about doing the smoke, but I think it turned out pretty good. This was my brother's friend's dad. He had a black and white photo and asked me to draw it. And there it is. Smoking Man, number 20. All right, we're getting into top 20 now. Number 19. Lee Jeffries is a photographer. He photographs homeless people, works in black and white. This is from one of his photos of a little homeless girl. I did this one in ballpoint pen. Not that I didn't have anything else to do it, but when I work in ballpoint pen, it's just because it's a challenge. When you work in ballpoint pen, you cannot make any mistakes. There's no erasing it. You can't cover up something with acrylic white or anything like that. You just got to be very careful, start light and work to dark, because if you mess up, you just got to start over. But I just love this little girl. I kind of feel sorry. It looks like a, sad little girl, but I really liked how it turned out. I hope she's doing well now. And I believe this one is, man, I can't remember. I think it's about 16 by 16. It's kind of a large one too, but it is black. It is a ballpoint pen. And here's, I think, the only flowers I did. I like this one. I want to put a bunch of color in it. This is a 16 by 20 oils. I went out of my way to make this as colorful as I can get it. I think I used a AI image. I just typed in really colorful flowers, and I changed it up a little bit. But I used a small, simple palette, and I just want to see how much color I can get with it. I use, the 3 primaries: red, blue, yellow, and I use a brown, and of course black and white. And this is what you can do with just a simple palette. Thank you, Frosty. All right, we all know this one. This is a drawing I did on my very first episode, Art with Ron. I was really nervous. I did this in charcoal, and I never did anything in charcoal in my life, which is kind of silly because it was my first episode. But I like living life on the edge. I spent about 3 hours live streaming, and I spent about another 3 or 4 finishing it up. And I put that video on stream too. But this is number 17. He did make the list. I got him right here behind me. He likes to watch me paint. I call him Henry. All right, number 16. This is my daughter's dog, Copper. She took a photo of him. I liked it. Asked if I could paint it. And I like this one a lot because this is when I was going over brush strokes and trying to learn to loosen up a little bit because I was really tight. After 30 years of drawing with, ballpoint pen and art pen, they keep saying when you get into oils and paints, you got to kind of loosen up those brush strokes. You don't want it so stiff. You can kind of see some of those loose brush strokes in the hair and the fur. And also, I wanted to see if I can use pure black. I've heard some artists say, you never use pure black. I'm like, well, let me see if I can make it work. So that shadow area underneath his chin it's pure black. And I think it works. I think it looks pretty good. This is that's true. If it ain't hard, it ain't fun. That's like people who put puzzles together. They, why do you want to go get a puzzle with 100 pieces? You want to go get one with 1,000 pieces. Me, I'd go get 3 puzzles with 1,000 pieces. I'd put all of them in one box, shake it up, and then that would be fun to me, trying to put 3 puzzles together out of one box. Especially if it's just a hobby. Okay, I think this is a 11 by 14, I believe. This is oils. This took me about 12 hours, maybe. This is number 16. Number 15. This one it's ballpoint pen. It's an older one I did, but it made my list because this is the best dog I ever had. My wife will agree with me. This is Sam. Left the gate open one day. He got out and got hit by a car. I was devastated. This was the best dog you could want right here. I actually had this was him looking up at me. I took a picture of him, but his eyes were kind of like whited out. You know how you got that shine in them? I actually had to go online and look at pictures of dogs, and I was looking for eyes in particular, and I had to find a dog that had eyes that reminded me of Sam, and I just kind of put that in my drawing. So that's what I did. But this is, I think it's about a 10 by 10. It's not very big, 10 by 10, pretty small drawing. But it is ballpoint pen. Probably took me another 35 hours. Number 14. This is called Partly Cloudy in Mississippi. My wife took this photo. Was coming home. First time I ever tried painting clouds or just focusing on the clouds mainly. I had so much fun with this painting. I got a video of this too, and I'm doing a little sun rays and all that. This is a 16 by 20. You know, I just had a lot of fun doing it. I really like this one right here. As a matter of fact, the reason why I did my clouds last week was because of this painting. I wanted to show people how much fun clouds can be to paint. Number 13, this is a chimpanzee. I did with this art pen. It's a bunch of little pointillism for like the skin tones, and the hair is just a bunch of line drawings. I did this from a photographer off of DeviantArt. Of course, I asked permission. He said I could do it. I could, you know, use his drawing or his photo for a reference for a drawing. And this is it. This is one of my favorites. Surprised he didn't make the top 10. All right. This is my dog Chemo. He's sitting right outside. I did this in an oil painting. First time I did black fur. I'm really happy with how the eyes turned out. Now, I probably could have put a little bit more detail in the fur, but this was really difficult. If you never painted black fur before, you know, it's good practice, and this was good practice. I think it turned out pretty good, and I do love the eyes. I can go out there right now, back, look at them. Even from, I can see the little, like a thumbnail to the left of the screen here, and it almost looks like a photo when it's that far away. So I think I did pretty good with the values. I need to work on my brush strokes, but this is one of my favorites because it's another really good dog that I have, Chemo. All right, this is the second daily deviation I got. This is done this is also art pen. There is a lot of dots in those hands. It's just a bunch of dots and a couple lines for like the fingernails. The jean jacket that he's holding the bird in behind is just like a scribbling kind of thing. And the bird is just a bunch of little line drawings. But again, this is my second daily deviation I got on DeviantArt. Pretty proud of it. I'm really happy with this drawing. This is probably, I keep saying 10 years for everything. I'm not good with dates at all, but it's probably 10 years old. This one's called Compassion. It's about 8 by 11. Of course, this is my wife, Amy. I didn't know where it was going to fit in my my ranking here, but I think if I didn't put it in my top 10, I'd be in big trouble. So this is number 10 on my top 10 list. This is an oil painting. I'm real happy with the skin tones. Since then, I've learned a lot. I'm working on another painting of my grandson right now. And, you know, I'll explain it in the videos of my grandson, but the hair, I think the hair turned out nice. This is a 11 by 14. All right, before we go any farther, I don't know, in the beginning my mic wasn't working. I said I got some good news and I got some bad news. And the good news is we sold our home. I didn't think it'd sell so quick. We got a closing date of next month. The bad news is I got to pack up everything we got and move to a new location, which means I'm not going to be able to do any live streamings probably until November, probably the second week of November. And I apologize to everyone because I said I'd be here every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I just didn't expect to sell the house that quick. I thought it was going to be next summer before it sold. So it's good news that it sold, but I just can't do the live streams. I just got too much going on. I got both my cars I got to work on. I got to pack all this stuff up, and it's a nightmare. So I'm just going to kind of put this on hold for a while, but I will be back in November to do some more live streams. All right, number 9. This is my wife's favorite, I believe. This is 2 strikes. This is another Edward Curtis photo. He photographed the Native Americans around 1900. 2 strikes got his name when he was in battle. He knocked off, I think it was 2 soldiers off a horse with 1 strike, or he knocked 2 of them off in battle or something like that. So they call him 2 strikes. I thought he looked really sad. This one took me another 35 hours maybe. It's also a 10 by 11 or 8 by 11. Number 8. This is one of my favorite landscapes that I've done so far, even though I'm not a landscape artist, Red Barn. And for some reason, this one took off on YouTube. I put it on YouTube, and I'm hardly ever on YouTube. I just kind of put some stuff on YouTube. I came back and it had like 300 views, 250 views, something like that. I'm like, okay. So I guess it was pretty popular. I don't know, it didn't go viral or anything, but this is one of my best landscapes I've done. This is another AI generated landscape. It's really difficult. And I don't want to copy anybody's photo because of copyright images and stuff like that. So you just got to be real careful. But then again, I don't want to abuse AI either. I wish I could go out and do plein air painting, but it is so hot here in Mississippi that I just can't do that. I'm too old and fat. But this is probably one of my best favorite landscapes. This is also a 16 by 20. All right. This is the Baitler Eagle again. I said before I did an oil. This made my top 10 list because this is acrylics. This is my very first painting I ever finished. It took me for probably 60 hours. So this is when I decided, you know what, I want to go do some painting. I went out and bought some paint, some acrylics. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea about how to mix color up. I remember getting taught about the color wheel, primary colors, but I didn't even think about it. I just started painting. And matter of fact, I wasn't so happy. I didn't even finish signing my name because I'm like, yeah. But the older I get and the farther away from this painting I get, it's like growing on me. It's becoming one of my favorite paintings I've done. This is the very first painting I've ever finished. And this is acrylics. Number 6. This is probably one of the best portraits I've ever done. This is Robin Williams. Probably one of the nicest people you would know. Not that I knew him, but from what I heard, he was just a really great guy. Tragic what happened to him. This is about a 10 by 10 square. This is art pen, and this took me probably about 25 hours. I look at, I go back, look at some of my drawings, and there's like, I wish I could change this, or there's absolutely nothing I would change on this. This is why I think, one of my, almost my top 5, but it's one of my favorite top 10 drawings, portraits of anyone. I wouldn't change a thing about it. I love it. Okay, this one's a little blurry. I'm sorry. I was having trouble converting these over to PDF. I had to learn how to do all this stuff just so I can get this slideshow up here. This is ballpoint pen. Again, not because I didn't have anything else to use. I just like the challenge. You know, a 99-cent ballpoint pen, you can get a pack of 10 of them, and a 15-cent piece of paper, and you can create art. That's all it takes. Piece of paper and a ballpoint pen in about 30 hours. Now, I've used this image several times too. I've painted this also in acrylic, and I painted it in oil, but neither one of those made my top 30 list. This one's always been one of my favorites. It's called Relaxed, just a tiger. All right, this is my daughter's dog, Maggie. Her other dog, Maggie. Now, why this is in my top 5? One, I think it turned out really well, and two, painting it, I learned so much. It was so fun for me to paint because I wasn't worried. You know, maybe because I didn't have a connection to her like I do like Chemo or Sam. It was just painting a dog for my daughter. So I was looser on the brush strokes, and I wasn't worried about making a mistake or not getting this just exactly right. I did make a video of this, and the only thing I really had to change, the left ear, I had to shift it over about a 1/4 inch. But everything else, it just kind of fell into place. And this time I was worried, I was learning about temperature, cool colors, warm colors. And you can see I got like the warm colors on the left with all the pink, and I got the blues on the right, the warm or the cool colors. And just I had a lot of fun. This only took about 12 hours, which is a fast painting for me. And I really enjoyed painting this one. Number 3, elephants. This is a lot of people's favorites. This is acrylic. This one took me quite a while. This is probably one of the first 10 paintings I did. That's why it took me so long. I would like to try to repaint this again, but that's when I got to be careful because this was an image I found on Pinterest or something like that. So I got to be real careful about, where I show the image. This probably took 60 hours. It's acrylic. I've since moved on to oil. I would love to try to redo this in acrylic one of these days. There was a 4th, like the daddy elephant in the back behind it, but I just thought it was too much. I should have actually just did the mom and the little baby, but I put little brother in there to the left. But maybe next time I'll just do the mom and the baby, and I'll do it in oil. Maybe change it up a little bit, and I can call it my own. That's number 3. Okay, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. 2 more to go. Number 2. This is a painting I just recently finished of my 2 grandsons, or 2 grandkids. The oldest 2 grandkids. I'm improving on my skin tones. It's not perfect yet, but I could see improvement, which is fine with me. As long as I'm improving, if I keep improving, eventually, one of these days I'm going to do a masterpiece. Now, as far as the quilt, I didn't know what I was going to do with it, and I repainted this about 3 times because at first I just was like a blue blanket I was going to put down there. I'm like, let me make a quilt. It was a quilt. I kind of desaturated all the colors. It was kind of dulled out a little bit. And I said, well, let me try to paint it real vibrant, just as bright as I can to see how it looks. I painted it. I thought it was too much. I went back to dulling it down to kind of desaturating all the colors. And I thought, you know what? I liked it when it was really bright. So I went back in and repainted it really bright. It might not look realistic, but I just love it. I just love how the colors pop. I thought I did a pretty good job of the skin tone. So this is about number 2. And of course, they're my grandkids, and I love them. All right, we need a drum roll. My number 1. Of course, probably everybody knows this because I've said this before. My number 1 favorite piece is 3 Eagles. I did this drawing, and there's not many pieces I do when I have like how I want it to look when I'm finished with it. And when I finish this one, I'm like, okay, that's what I wanted. I've talked about people, I've talked with people about this one, and they said maybe the values are a little bit too strong, but I'm like, you know what? But that's what I wanted. And I painted it for me. So we can argue about the values all you want, but this is what I wanted. This is the image I had when I started the drawing. And I was really happy with it. And after all these years, after 15 years, I have this sitting in my living room. I blew it up. I got about a 2 foot by 3 foot picture of this. The actual drawing is only like 8 by 11, but I got a bigger size in my living room. And there's nothing, like my Robin Williams drawing, there's nothing I would change in this drawing. And this is the best I can do right here. Okay. Let me go back over here. All right, folks, I'm so sorry that I'm gonna have to drop out of live streaming for a while. I did not expect to sell my house. I have tons of ideas I want to do, and I know I got a lot of work to do. I know I got to work on the quality of video. Right now, I'm only at the 720 pi, whatever they call it, and I can go up to 1080 if I want to upgrade this package. I know I need better cameras. I got these little $25 Walmart cameras, and probably need a better mic, but you know, it's a learning curve for me. I will get better, and I will be back in November, probably the second week of November. I do appreciate everyone for stopping by. Frosty, thanks for all the comments. If anybody doesn't know Frosty, he's on True Social. Oh, Frosty Princess, his wife is on here too, but he's a great artist too. He's a great landscape artist. But I want to thank everyone for stopping by. I do apologize that I got to step aside for a while. I got a lot of packing to do. I got a moving to do. We're going to go live closer to our grandbaby. So I'm really excited about that. But I'm sad that I can't do these live streams for a while. But I do appreciate everyone for stopping. That's it. Take care and God bless.